What's going on? Today we're going through the best and worst tattoo TikToks I can find. Let's get into it. Okay, so we got this blackout wolf thing. Okay, so she's putting black over it, putting some gray into it, putting some blue into it, putting purple and white and all these different colors. Honestly, I think this is gonna actually work out pretty well for this girl. Her name's Julianne Tattoo. It's a bold and wild choice, but I think it's gonna work out. Like, there's a lot of things here that make sense to me. Like, white is never my favorite thing, but when it's over black, it tends to work out all right. These purples, these deep blues, they'll probably show up over time. I think it's gonna need a couple sessions to touch it up, but once it's all said and done, I think it's actually gonna make sense as a tattoo. It is wild though. As a tattooer, trying to do this would be kind of crazy, kind of sketchy, and like, you definitely don't know how well it's gonna turn out until it's all said and done, which is never a great position as a tattooer to be in, but I think it will work out fine. Probably, more than likely, more than the next one. On to this face tattoo snake thing. Wild, just wild. I like the idea, kind of. I think a dagger would have just been a lot cooler, like a regular dagger, rather than doing like a snake dagger. Okay, on the tattooer side of this, that face is pretty detailed and you lose a lot of the detail, especially in the mouth and the face area. You might say it's from the glare. It's not. There's a lot of detail lost in there, which is just not the move for me or anybody, but yeah. Idea-wise, it's not the worst, goofiest thing. I just hate it. I hate the tattoo. And honestly, if you would have just put a dagger, I would have been much more okay with it. And I probably would never make a video about it, but yeah, wild. Wild choices here. And this client has wild choices everywhere, so no one's surprised by any of it. Like the Grateful Dead logo thing on the side of his neck, the jack-o'-lantern on the throat, that's what that is, a jack-o'-lantern. Fucking crazy shit tattoos. Yeah, whatever. It's a face snake dagger, you know, the classics. On to the next. Well, this face tattoo, I'm probably gonna like. It says, watch my 78-year-old grandpa get a face tattoo. Look, dude, you look like that and you're 78, you can do whatever the fuck you want, man. He looks so cool with his gray hair. It's like a Pachuca fucking outfit, dude. It's cool. I like it. Good for Grandpa the Cholo to get his face tatted. The whole scene is just cool. Like the guy tattooing him really fits into. I like it all. You know, good for Grandpa. None of your grandpas are half this cool, I'm sure. On to the next.
No, that's a miss.
Tattoo etiquette, bro. Like, hey man, this might look like a penis.
And balls.
And
the knuckles look like
I've
balls.
missed the balls, man. How do you miss the balls?
So when he says tattoo etiquette, it means it's partially our job as tattooers to figure out what these tattoos look like. And if it looks like a dick and balls, that's a fuck up on the tattooer's part, 100%. Like, yeah, how do you not see that? And then like halfway through it, how are you not like, let's just stop and cover this up already? Yeah, no part of that looks like anything else. And then it's like a little fucking baby, I don't know. Every time it's a baby hand holding anything, it looks like this. And I just wish tattooers would stop making that mistake, but apparently it's gonna happen for the rest of eternity where, yeah, people just end up with this shit tattooed on them. Ugh, rough go, dude.
No, that's a miss.
I love it. He's like, it's a miss. Yeah, definitely a fucking miss, dude. On to the next. Okay, we got Lord of the Rings tattoo. There's some things here that I'm not a huge fan of, but overall, I just love like the design and like the way it was put together. Some of the color choices are so muted. It's just personally, I don't like it. And I wish that they maybe used a little less of those muted tones and brighter tones in general, especially for like those buildings and stuff. Like, I know that they're really muted in the movie, but you should just throw some blues and stuff like in there, or else things kind of get lost. But like when you zoom in on these little guys when they're walking, I love it so much. None of you will get this, but I love miniature things, and this just makes me want to like pick them up Such a fucking dork, dude. But yeah, miniature shit gets me all fucking hubbed up. And yeah, this tattoo is, I think it's interesting. I really like the way they separated the different scenes with like the stars and these like little bits cutting through it. It's interesting. It's wild. And even though I like some scenes more than others, like overall it just looks cool. Except for right here, we have this white wall, the white invisible door. I know. How else do you do this tattoo? But not like this. Not like this. Like a lot of that white is just gonna fall and collapse into itself. We know this. Like over time, even maybe if they went through and left negative space there and then put white, I'd be like, oh yeah, that looks rad. But it's just something to me that is gonna drive me crazy. But the rest of the tattoo, I'm just like super in love with, even with all the muted colors. So yeah, something I wouldn't normally be interested in almost ever, but just like the way they put this tattoo together, I really like, even with the problems I see. On to the next. Fuck. What the client wanted, what the client got. God. Okay, so tattoo etiquette. It should have been said that it wouldn't actually look like it was cutting out of the skin or like taken out of the skin like the Barbie. This is just like, to use the other tattooer's words, a fucking miss. Why you're attempting stuff like this instead of just putting the words like the C, the 1976 and Mattel ink, it would have looked a lot better. But also, nothing's ever really gonna look that good on the back of the neck when it comes to lettering like this. Like if you want me to pull fucking straight lines on the back of a neck where the neck meets the back area, dude, no. The tattoo's gonna look flawed. And unfortunately, that's the case here, but they kind of stacked mistakes. So instead of just trying to put black and doing it like the 1976 Mattel ink, then they also did this like half patchy stuff. The whole thing is a miss and just kind of like a bad idea in general. Tattooer should have been like, no, that won't look good. Even if they had to do it, maybe don't post it. Truthfully, a lot of the times there are mistakes and choices made by probably both the tattooer and the client on this thing, on these TikToks, and I'm always like, why post them? If a client comes into you and you're like, hey, maybe you shouldn't do that, and they're like, no, let's do it, and then you do a fucking shitty tattoo, not a big deal. Like it's just part of tattooing. Like there's a lot of things that people want that I can't convince out of it, so I end up doing shitty tattoos on people. But then the moment you post it, I'm like, oh, that was a fucking decision and a half. And now, not only did you like do a bad tattoo, but you stamped it, you seconded it, you put it out in the world, and you're like, that was a good idea, when it very much was not. On to the next. Okay, the concept. It looks like some 3D model thing. I read the comments. It's supposed to be some simulation type theory tattoo. In case you're unfamiliar with that is, which I doubt you are unfamiliar with because it's so popular these days, is the idea that you live in a simulation or something and this is some 3D version of your arm. Kind of similar to the fucking dick in hand tattoo thing that we saw earlier. Maybe the tattooer should have been like, that's not gonna look great. Yeah, I got no problem if you do a tattoo that is not the best. Like I said earlier, do we think that looks good? I'm not sure. I don't think it looks the worst. Like it's not an awful tattoo, but there's no fucking way you see that tattoo walking by you and you think to yourself, I know what that is. You don't. So is that like, I don't know. It's just a goofy walk-in tattoo that you fucking do. You never think about again. And then you see every once in a while and you're like, God damn it, dude. I remember doing that. I hated that. Glad I didn't post a video about it. But then you did. And then on to the next. Okay, your latest face tattoo. Reminder, don't do it unless you're really fucking committed to the cause because there's so many goddamn versions of this lasering of face tattoos. He's 25 right now. Fucking wild. Look, I'm 8 years older than this guy. Not that much. But don't fucking get your face tattooed unless you're really getting good quality tattoos. And maybe, you know, if you're on a, you know, if you're doing some junk shit, wild stuff in your life, definitely don't get it. Yeah, if you're doing drugs, don't do shit like this. But hey, that's why God invented laser, for you to suffer through some half-ass version of getting rid of a tattoo. Oh yeah. I wish laser was better, dude. I really do. When I watch these videos, I'm always like, I wish laser worked as well as you hope it would, but it just doesn't. Just does not. On to the next. Hey guys, we just broke 70,000 subscribers. We are trying to make it to 100,000. If you don't mind liking, subscribing, sharing this video with people who also like tattoos, the more people who watch this channel, the less shitty tattoos are out in the world, and I appreciate you guys so much.
Are you anxious about your tattoo session? I get it, I have horrible anxiety myself when I'm getting tattooed. I worry, I become a sweaty mess, and I even do this for a job. Here are 5 ways that you can conquer your anxiety for your next tattoo session.
Okay, so conquer your anxiety. There's a few things here. One, I don't think you should try to conquer your anxiety. I think you should learn how to use your anxiety to get you through the tattoo, especially if you're nervous about the pain. It's just gonna suck, and you're just going to have to embrace the fact that you're nervous and you're stressed. Use that to actually get you through the process, because if you go into a tattoo thinking, I got this, it's nothing, no big deal, chances are you're going to have a really painful experience. It's a complicated subject trying to get through it, like figuring out exactly what level and how you want to be going through it all, but let's hear his best advice, I guess.
And now, any issues with designs or prices before the day of your tattoo? Have your artist explain the whole process and how long your sitting will last.
Those 2 things there, like that just seems like you're more anxious about the experience, and like, yeah, if you are not sure about the price, if you're not sure about all the other things, how long, talk to your tattooer. Get that stuff dialed in.
Of course there's going to be a little bit of pain. However, your artist will accommodate you
and that's the part, like, it's going to be extreme. Imagine it's going to be extreme. I don't know. So I got a story. One time I was running long distances. I've run long distances here and there in my life, and I was running a 60-mile run, and at mile 40, I was more nervous about the future pain than I was about the current pain. And I was like, you know, I ran 40 miles and I was fucking crying. Not because I was in a lot of pain yet, it was because of the future pain that I was worried about. And I think the moral of that story is that, like, yeah, sometimes it just sucks. Sometimes the sucking just sucks, and sometimes you just gotta fucking deal with it. And if it's getting you to the point of crying, you know, maybe it's okay. Maybe it's okay to be so fucking anxious about a tattoo that when you get to the actual tattoo, it's not as bad as you thought it might be. I don't know if that's the moral of my story. I don't know if that's where I want to go with it, but I'm not sure that trying to conquer anxiety is a good thing. Let's keep listening.
Bring your iPad and your headphones. Music and movies help distract me a lot whilst getting tattooed. Remember, the anticipation is always more intense than the reality. Pain is never as bad as you think, and you can stop at any time.
I do think people will be more anxious about a tattoo than what it will actually feel like, but just remember, it will be bad. It will be bad. I tell people all the time, when they come into me and they're like, is this gonna be a painful tattoo? I'm like, yeah, probably. And like, I know in today's world, we wanna just like baby people through processes, but that's just not that fucking helpful sometimes. And if I tell someone, it's not gonna be bad, you're gonna be fine, and then it's pretty bad, they're like, oh, you fucking lied to me. And you mismanaged my expectations. So take control over yours and manage your expectations as well as possible. Think it's gonna be awful, and just deal with it.
Struggle with tattoo anxiety? I may be able to help. Comment anxious on this video and I'll send you my free guide to help you get through your next tattoo session.
That is wild. This is not the first time I've watched this video, but I guess it's the first time I've watched it all the way through. Giving people guides to getting through pain. What's the guide? I thought we already went through it. You just gave us the top 5. Man, people will use marketing in the wildest ways. That's crazy. On to the next. Okay. I love it. I fucking love it, dudes. This is Ricky Sunshine, and he just put some gated fence over this fucking old crusty ass tattoo, and it worked. I like it, good for him. An idea that probably doesn't work that well for like a lot of different tattoos. Fuck it, dude, just put it over. If you got some like weak ass gray line tattoo, some heavy black will do the job, you know? You'll get rid of it. You'll get rid of most of it. And like the idea just looks, this looks cool to me. I like it. Good for you, Ricky Sunshine. I know it's kind of simple, but I just enjoyed it. So on to the next. Okay, I'm gonna try and translate this for you. Tatuaje realista. Tatuaje realista de pescado frito. Not only are they gonna make fun of me, but my fucking editor's gonna make fun of me. And if you're not sure what that means, it means realistic tattoo of a fried fish. And fucking A, that looks like a fried fish to me. God, what a crusty ass tattoo. And yeah, just fucking nailed it. I love this meme. It made me laugh pretty hard. It definitely looks like a fried fish. And fuck speaking Spanish on camera. On to the next.
All right, time to remove the Sanoderm off this guy. Into it.
Please leave it on forever and make it black so I don't have to fucking ever see what's underneath there.
Particularly because I get it. It's really bold. Again, I'm a delusional optimist. The ear thing almost is Picasso-like to me. I know doing that on your face is kind of crazy, but you know what? It kind of helps with my self-esteem a lot. Adding beauty to me.
Okay, I want to make fun of it, but I feel bad for the guy because he's fucking talking about how low self-esteem he has. Fuck. I want to make fun of it. I'm going to make fun of it. But let's keep watching. I think it's a bad decision for everyone else. Truthfully, like putting something over the ear onto the face, it's not going to look good. It looks like he's had to get this thing touched up, at least the way he's talking about it. But yeah, which is kind of crazy because like he's got this eye and the butterfly. He's got face tattoos I don't absolutely hate. It's just a wild fucking thing to put the black over your face. And I just don't think it looks very good. But, you know, hey, fuck it. I hope he's happy with it. On to the next. Fucking Biomech, they do all sorts of wild shit. Let's see it. Beating heart. All yellows and reds and whites and god damn it, that does not look good. But I love the rest of the tattoo. Like if you just like pause it right here and like the little bits that we can see of her face, I'm like, fuck, I love the rest of it. I love the rest of it. It's a beating heart. And it's such an easy fix. Like just put some black outline around it. And it would probably be like the coolest knee tattoo we got. Look at that thing. That thing's so cool. Everywhere else, it looks rad. And then there's a fucking heart. Rough. Hate it. Hate the beating heart. The rest of the tattoo's super fucking cool. Might be the only Biomech I've ever actually liked. Okay, that's the end of it. This is viewer submitted videos. This is a viewer and a tattooer. Look at these fucking wonky ass, super cool Japanese influenced tattoos. They're by Michel Villarroel. Fuck you guys. Fuck Pepe. From Chile. Good for you. I like your fucking tattoos. Again, everyone making fun of me. That's a fucking Spanish goddamn name. So hard for me. Fuck. This is a cool tattoo too. But yeah, super cool. Like what a weird, wonky Japanese influence tattoo. I'm telling you guys, Latin America, they got great tattooers. Yeah, super fucking rad tattoos. Look at that one. That one is by far my fucking favorite. So cool on the stomach, healed up really well. Goddamn, Michel. Michel, I like your tats. Good for you, dude. Look at that frog. Look at that fucking frog. Okay, I'll see you in a few days.